What if I told you a $499 smartphone made right here in the USA just shook up the entire tech world? And what if, brace yourself, it was backed by none other than the Trump Organization? Wait, did we just say Trump and smartphone in the same sentence? Oh yeah, we did. This isn't satire. This isn't The Onion. This is real life in 2025. And today, we're diving headfirst into one of the boldest tech moves we've seen in a decade. Whether you love him, hate him, or just scroll past political news entirely, this announcement is forcing everyone from Silicon Valley to small-town America to pay attention. In this video, we're breaking down what exactly the Trump smartphone is, what we know so far, what's missing from the headlines, and whether this is actually a step forward for American manufacturing, or just another flashy PR move with a patriotic twist. You'll want to stay tuned because what we uncovered about its design, software, and the real motive behind the launch might shock you. We're talking supply chains, security fears, even potential censorship or lack thereof. There's a lot on the table, and it affects you more than you think. Also, who exactly is building this phone? A MAGA tech startup in Texas? Is Foxconn going red, white, and blue? Or is this more about branding than hardware? Grab your coffee, mute your notifications, and maybe sit down for this one, because this isn't just another phone launch. It's a story about technology, politics, identity, and power in America's digital future. And at the very end, we'll tell you something that wasn't in the press release, and that could change everything. Let's go. Section 1. The big reveal. What we know about the Trump smartphone. So what exactly is the Trump smartphone? It's called the Freedom Phone 2.0. Yes, really. And it's being pitched as a 100% American-made alternative to Apple, Google, and Samsung devices. According to the official announcement, the device will cost $499, feature a 6.5-inch display, custom privacy-first operating system, and be built in Midwest manufacturing hubs that have long been forgotten by big tech. Sound too good to be true? Maybe. But the press event was nothing short of cinematic. Think American flags, factory drone shots, and phrases like taking back control from Silicon Valley elites. Let's break it down. Hardware. The Trump phone reportedly features a Qualcomm Snapdragon processor, no model specified yet, 128GB storage, 8GB RAM, and a 48-megapixel rear camera. While these specs aren't revolutionary, they do match many mid-range Android phones today. Operating system. This is where it gets political. The phone runs a modified Android OS called Liberty OS. It promises zero data tracking, anti-censorship tools, and built-in access to free speech platforms, some of which have been banned from mainstream app stores. Security and privacy. The phone's marketing leans heavily on fear of big tech, surveillance, and data harvesting. And to be fair, many Americans do feel increasingly anxious about privacy. The phone claims end-to-end encrypted calling, decentralized messaging, and even an off-grid mode. Pattern interrupt. So wait, it's like a VPN, a Faraday cage, and a Facebook alternative all rolled into one. Next thing you know, it'll have a built-in grill. But in all seriousness, this is clearly aimed at a specific demographic: privacy-focused, patriot-leaning Americans who feel alienated by the current tech landscape. Still, $499 is a competitive price, especially if the phone delivers on even half of these promises. Which raises the question, who's actually building this thing? Section 2. The mystery of manufacturing. Is it really made in the USA? Here's where things get murky. Made in the USA sounds great in a press release, but when it comes to electronics, that phrase gets complicated fast. The Trump Organization claims the phone is assembled in the United States using domestically sourced components. That's a nice way of saying some parts might be American, but probably not all. Why? Because over 90% of smartphone components, from lithium batteries to semiconductors, are still manufactured overseas. Even Apple, with its trillion-dollar budget, relies on global supply chains. Our research found that the chips are likely designed in the US, but fabricated abroad. Screens and batteries are probably imported from Asia. The assembly plants are being retrofitted in Ohio and Michigan with the help of government subsidies and private equity backing. So yes, some of it is technically made in the USA, but this is more about rebranding than revolution. Cliffhanger. But guess what? There's one company behind the scenes you've definitely heard of, and they've got more political baggage than a Senate hearing. Stick around. Let's pivot for a second. Section 3, the audience and the agenda. Who this phone is really for. All right, real talk. This phone isn't just a gadget. It's a statement piece. Like wearing a red hat or driving a Tesla. You're telling the world something. The Trump smartphone is designed for Americans who distrust big tech, users who were deplatformed or shadow banned, digital nomads who want control over their data, and yes, fans of Trump. But beyond politics, there's a growing segment of the US population that's genuinely worried about surveillance capitalism, algorithmic manipulation, data security leaks, pattern interrupt. Yeah, now they're battlegrounds for the soul of democracy. The Trump smartphone taps directly into these fears, using them not just to sell a product, but a vision of digital independence. Whether you agree with it or not, it's a genius marketing strategy, and it's working. Pre-orders have reportedly crossed 200,000 units in under a week. But here's the twist. This phone isn't being made by a MAGA startup. It's backed by a firm co-owned by a former Facebook executive turned whistleblower. Yep, the same people they say they're fighting. Irony, anyone? Section 4, the ecosystem play. More than just a phone. Here's where it gets bigger. This isn't just about one device. The Trump smartphone is step 1 in what insiders are calling a parallel tech economy. What does that mean? App Store alternative. No Apple or Google Play. Only Freedom-approved apps. Cloud storage. Private servers hosted in the US. Social media. Built-in integration with platforms like Truth Social, Rumble, and others. It's a walled garden, but with stars and stripes instead of apples. Analysts are calling it the Patriot tech stack, and if successful, it could be the biggest challenger to Silicon Valley since Huawei, minus the CCP ties. Cliffhanger. But wait, how does this phone connect to recent FCC rulings and privacy legislation that just passed Congress last month? Oh, we're getting there. This could actually get huge. Section 5, the real risk. What this means for the rest of us. Let's zoom out. What does the Trump smartphone mean for you, even if you never buy one? It signals a growing fracture in the US tech landscape. We're not just divided by politics. We're now divided by platforms, data standards, and digital values. And that comes with risks. Fragmentation, different devices with incompatible apps and services. Security gaps, unregulated ecosystems can become targets. Misinformation echo chambers, lack of content moderation could amplify extremism. Pattern interrupt. So basically, in 5 years, your mom might be texting you from a Trump phone using Liberty Chat, while you're stuck figuring out why her emoji turned into an eagle. But here's the real kicker. If this parallel ecosystem succeeds, it might force big tech to finally address long-standing concerns about surveillance, censorship, and monopolistic behavior. So whether you're cheering or cringing right now, this phone matters. And remember that thing we promised to reveal at the end. Final section. What they didn't tell you, the hidden agenda? Here it is. Buried in the investor filings and small print is a little-known clause. Data from the Freedom Phone ecosystem may be used to train AI models, including sentiment analysis, behavioral targeting, and predictive modeling. Yes, the anti-big tech phone may be harvesting data for its own big tech goals. Cliffhanger within a cliffhanger. Who are the AI partners? Some names are redacted, but our source points to a Colorado-based defense contractor with ties to, wait for it, the Department of Homeland Security. So, is the Trump smartphone the antidote to surveillance capitalism? Or just another version of it, wearing a flag? You decide. Outro. This isn't just a phone story. It's about the future of American technology, values, and personal freedom. So what do you think? Is the Trump smartphone the start of a tech revolution or a shiny distraction? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're diving into the best takes next episode. And if you found this video eye-opening, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell. We've got deep dives coming every week on tech, power, and how to protect yourself in the new digital age. Until next time.